Well, the Dogs have got co-defensive coordinators coming into 2022, and I don't think there's really much confusion about what Will Muschamp has brought to Georgia's program in his time in Athens. And I'll be specific. He's an expert in defense. I mean, so is Glenn Schumann, for the record. And Glenn has been around the block for a while too. Whenever you're, a coach on a national championship team, you know what it's like to develop, recruit, develop, plan, and live through a national championship run. These two guys now have done that. And they will be tasked with restocking a Georgia defense that was one of the best in college football history. You're losing a lot of talent. Nakobe Dean, probably the most gifted, high level player on the defense this past year, not named Jalen Carter. Trayvon Walker, Jordan Davis, the slew of linebackers who were just straight up killers. Quay Walker, Channing Tindall. You return Robert Beal, you're going to lose Kendrick. But the big thing is these guys are going to have to take this puzzle piece, this giant puzzle, get the pieces where they're supposed to go and take it from there. It's not going to be easy. There's not a lot in their way, though. This is still a totally stacked Georgia defense. I'll talk about that in a second here. Please be certain. Check out DAWGSTRUCTION below. Just check. Look, that cover is pretty killer with Keely Ringo scoring the pick six. Beautiful image from Chris Collins. And the whole book is beautiful. 80 pages stacked with stories about the season that you're not going to read anywhere else, and photos I can assure you you're not going to read anywhere else. If you have a loved one that is a Georgia fan, or if you love the Dogs, it is time for you to buy this book. It's right below. It is going to take a little bit of development. Thank you for ordering, Andrew, just then. I'm not going to say your last name. It is going to take some art to rebuild this Georgia defense, restock it, rebuild. That's what teams that don't win national championships do. They're going to have to restock it. They're going to have to fill in some pieces. But some important pieces have returned. The return of Chris Smith helps out on the back end for sure. I would say that the return of Robert Beal helps out a lot. You've got, obviously, the return of Jalen Carter, who, I mean, listen, I think Jalen Carter Nakobe Dean was exceptional last season. I think it was a real big three-way, tag team fight between Trayvon, Jalen, and Nakobe Dean in terms of which of those guys was the best player on this team, on this defense, excuse me, perhaps on this team. I mean, listen, Jalen Carter is as good a football player as there is in college football. The guy from Michigan, hey, that's great. He did not do a thing against Georgia. That was the most important game of the season. He did not matter. He got his ass whipped. I have never seen someone whip Jalen Carter's ass. Period. This guy is stout. He makes plays. He is steady. He does not get over emotional. The guy's a star. That's it. And he can punt. If you need him to punt, he's not a bad punter, okay? That just shows his athleticism. But that's him. You can start with him. Now, look, some of these younger guys that are coming in that are pass rushers, they're going to have to play well. They're going to have to get the job done quick. And I mean, I've talked about it a lot, but Chaz Chambliss is a guy that on third down, he may be your pass rush guy. Now, it might be from middle linebacker, but he could be your pass rush guy. That guy can get to the quarterback. I don't know that he's an every down guy, so that's kind of an issue, but he is an edge guy that can play. I mean, he is. I'm all in on him too. Now, he's not Jalen Carter, okay, but he is legit in terms of rushing the passer. So there are some spots, and at linebacker, just taking a turn over here. I'm desperate for a haircut. At linebacker, you've got some holes to fill. I mean, Robert Beal coming back helps. Mondon, Sorey, Dumas Johnson. I talked about Chambliss already, who is a linebacker edge guy. I don't know. It's half the times these guys, they can play multiple positions. Like, Nolan Smith, I think coming out of high school, we weren't totally certain, where he would play. He would play outside. Was he an outside linebacker? We thought he was an edge guy, which he's turned out to be. Forgot to mention Nolan Smith coming back. But, Nolan, Robert Beal. So Robert Beal is your leading sack guy from this past season. Robert Beal comes back. Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith, it's time, bro, to get paid. Not by a college deal. It's time for Nolan Smith to take the opportunity he's got coming into 22 and move himself into a top 50 pick or higher. I mean, you do it, man. It's your deal. And I think he can do it. I think Beal coming back gives him an opportunity to get drafted, you know. So there are spots that Georgia needs improvement from people who are already in the program. With that said, some of the new guys can give you a bump, I guess you could say. And very specifically, Mikal Williams, all right? An edge guy like that can change the ball game in a way that makes it so difficult for the other team. Now, haven't seen Darius Smith live. He can get to the linebacker for sure. I mean, he looked like a very skinny Leonard Floyd, which is what Leonard Floyd looked like in high school. But Leonard had a year playing at Hargrove, so Hargrave, sorry, it's out of business now from in the business we used to be in. But those guys, Barry Alexander. I mean, I don't know what to expect from Barry Alexander other than I know he can market himself exceptionally well. Can he play football at the at the level you need to in the SEC? So there are some guys like Everett coming in and Humphrey. These guys are in Singletary. The corners they got are legit. And you're coming back again with Smith, Ringo. These guys, there are some players in the secondary they just got to play. When Ringo got hurt in 2020, didn't play a lot. I think he played on the last. I think he was out there in the Peach Bowl like on the last play of the game or something. But he didn't play a lot in 2020 at all. But look, this is going to be his last year at Georgia, I would imagine. So you got to deal with the loss of Kendrick, Lewis Seen, Speed is gone, Breeny left, and Kimber left. So you got Green, Daniel, Lassiter. There's some guys. There's some spots, but that's going to be for Will and Glenn Schumann to deal with. Will Muschamp has a reputation of being an exceptional defensive coordinator, and in the time that he was at Florida and Carolina, there was times when you saw that defensive sort of genius pop up, and then there were times when it was evident he just didn't have the guys. And as the head coach, that's on you. So, Will teaming up with Kirby, Glenn Schumann teaming up with Kirby. You have to wonder how long it will take for somebody to realize how good Glenn Schumann has been through the years too. It's not going to take forever. But this defense coming into 2020, y'all, 2022, at what point have they been bad on defense? It just doesn't happen. And everybody always wants to talk about discrepancies and the offense is going to have to score more and all this stuff. Okay, yeah, maybe. Everybody wants to score. But at what stage has this Georgia defense been bad? I'm going to go through it right now and tell you. Scoring defense. Total defense, okay. Scoring defense. Georgia, 10.2 this past season. In 2020, let me try to get it to where this is quicker, NCAA. In 2020, they allowed 20 points a game. Not a lot. In 19, they allowed, for number one in the country, 12.6. Y'all, 12.6 a game. They're not playing in the ACC like Clemson. In 18, 19 a game. 19 a game. That's not horrible. You can survive with that. In 2017, 16 a game. Kirby's first year in 2016, they were at, this was their worst one. I have to actually look it up. 35th in the country at 24 a game. I'm not saying the defensive coordinator doesn't matter. It does. But we've seen two good defensive coordinators come and take other jobs, and it's not made a difference. The production's there. It's the guys, it's the development, it's the recruiting, it's all of it. And it's going to be up to those two guys to get the job done. How they're going to do it, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to who is going to call it or whatever. That's above my pay grade, and I don't know that we'll ever find that out. But it will be an interesting thing to watch, talk about, and so forth. Hey, let's talk about this more. Make certain you're getting DAWGSTRUCTION. Do not miss out on the first run of books. If you do, we'll get you the second one. Get the first one, though. You want the first one.